I've been wandering around the farm trying to find a good spot to do my books I read this month video, but it's rained a lot today, and wandering around, my feet and shoes and socks and pant legs are soaked. Also, I got bit by a bug over here. I don't know if you can see it or not, I haven't looked at a mirror, but it hurts and stings a lot, and I just want to scratch it. So there we are. It's not been a pleasant wandering around the farm. But it is the end of May, so let's look at the books that I read this month. I'm gonna do a slightly different thing than I usually do when I do these videos. Not insanely different, but I'm gonna show you the book like I usually do. I'm gonna discuss what I thought of the book like I usually do. And then I'm going to add whether I would recommend this book to two categories. One, just to the general populace, and two, if I would recommend this book to fellow Christians. And none of the books that I read this month were written for a Christian audience, so bear that in mind. Here we go. The first book that I read, which seems like ages and ages ago, was In a Mirror by Emily Bourne. I did film my reading of this book. Oh, I got it all muddy out here on the farm. I didn't even set it down. I've been holding it in my hand. How did it get muddy? I don't understand. Anyway, okay. Anyway, I read In a Mirror, which I enjoyed much more than I expected, because I don't usually read teenage, angsty love story things. But I did enjoy it more than I expected. It was everything that it said it would be, though. Teenage, angsty stuff. It's not really my cup of tea, but that's fine. If that is your cup of tea, I would recommend it, because as someone who doesn't read it, I did enjoy the book to a certain degree. So if you actually do enjoy this genre, you would probably definitely enjoy this book, if that makes sense. Whatever. So yes, recommending to the general populace, I would say yeah. If this is the sort of thing you read, definitely, and otherwise, like, maybe pick it up. I don't know, I kind of enjoyed it. I would, however, be much more cautious when recommending this specifically to Christians. And again, it wasn't written to a Christian audience, so keep that in mind. But there is a lot of stuff. Alcohol and drug abuse, sex before marriage. There's a lot of behavior. There's lying and disrespect, and oh my goodness, there is a lot of problematic behavior in this book. And while not all of it is condoned, not all of it is condemned either. So yeah, I would not be quick to say this is a book for Christian teenage young ladies at all. Definitely not. And it wasn't written for them, so there's that, but like, no. The next book that I read this month was Song of the Dryad by Natalia Lee. I really enjoyed this book. It's cute and cozy and quaint, and I liked it. And it also incorporates the Fae, and I love that, and it's just, I loved it. When recommending this to the general populace, I would say yes, absolutely. This is a cute little book. When recommending it specifically to Christians, I would be slightly more cautious. Two things. One, it is fantasy, there is magic, and within the Christian community, there's multiple levels of what people find acceptable, so read at your own discretion. And then secondly, I find in my personal reading of fantasy stories, when it's clearly fantasy, like The Lord of the Rings or whatever, it's clearly not realistic, I don't mind reading it because I know that it's fake, you know? So I'm like, it's not going to bother me because I know that it isn't real. But in this specific book, for the most part, reading about the Fae, I felt the same way. I was like, clearly this isn't real, I don't mind reading it. But at some point through the story, the main character does start interacting with real-world witches. They're practicing witches. And then the blending of the fantasy element of this is clearly not real with practicing witches, which some people really are. I don't know, it made me a little uncomfortable because of my beliefs, and so I would say to a Christian who wanted to read this book, well, I would just say that. I would say that this is what's in it, so read at your own discretion. And again, like In a Mirror, it wasn't written for a Christian audience, so bear that in mind. And last but not least, I am currently reading Eve, The Awakening by Jenna Moreci. I'm not very far into it. I've enjoyed it so far, but I can't really give any thoughts on it, really, because I'm like, I don't know, 20 pages in or something, so I don't know, I'm liking it so far. I don't know that I could recommend it to the general populace or to Christians yet, because I don't know. If you've been watching my channel for a while, or at least watching my books I've read this month videos, you may notice that there's a book missing now that I've come to the end of my stack of books that I've been reading this month. I did not read any bit of Quicksilver this month at all. I intend to. I have very good intentions to finish that book at some point, because I do enjoy it on some level. I like the writing, and we're not getting into this right now. It's a whole topic. We're not getting into it. Maybe I'll make a video on Quicksilver sometime. But anyway, I did not do any reading of Quicksilver this month because it was my unproductive month, so I really wasn't doing anything at all. There you go. So yes, I read 2 books, am reading a 3rd. I enjoyed them, and here we are. I don't really know how to finish this video now. My retelling of The Legend of Robin Hood, Return to Sherwood, is out in the world if you would like to buy it. There's a link in the description to my website where you can find it. Also, I think there's a link directly to Amazon in the description. I don't remember what I linked. There's links, you'll find it.